I'm Adon from Volition Components, here to tell you a little bit about the mobile telehealth van for care on location. One of the first things you'll notice as you walk into the van is a roll left screen that was installed to be able to block some bugs, give you a little bit of ventilation, but also still give you access to the van. On either side of the screen, you have zippers to help close it up. And just to the right, there's a rope magnet that allows you to gain access to the van still. Right inside the door opening, just to your left, you'll notice pretty much all of your electrical controls for everything that's inside of the van. Right here on your upper left is your inverter controller. To the left is a charge only mode. Right in the middle turns the inverter off, and to the right turns it on. This is what's going to make power for your outlets when you're out in the field. There's a little knob right here that also adjusts the amount of input current depending on where you're plugged in, if you're plugged into a building or if you're plugged into a generator. To the right of the inverter controller, you have your light switches for the various lighting that's inside of the van and outside of the van. Just above the screen, you notice we have a patio light. You have under cabinet lights, and then your cabin lights. And right in here is all of your breakers and fusing for pretty much all the electronics that were installed by us. If you want to take a peek in here, I want to show you these two lights. These ones are hooked up to your door triggers and are part of your factory electronics. So these ones aren't controlled by the switches I just showed you. So as I was showing you, on the electrical panel, you have a switch for your overhead lights. That's going to be for these recessed can lights that you find in the ceiling. And if you hit the under cabinet light switch, you'll notice the only thing that comes on is these reading lights. All you need to do to turn your under cabinet lights on is just hit these little buttons right here. The first setting turns them on, second setting turns them on even brighter. When you turn the switch off, these are not going to come back on with the switch, so you'll need to go through each one and turn them on individually. As we work our way down the driver's side of the van, a couple things you'll notice. There is a USB charger with regular USB and USB-C connections. You can turn this on and off with that switch. Just above that, you have what's marked as outlet 4. This is your normal 120 outlet. Just above that is your heater control. This is a touchscreen control for your auto-term fuel fire heater. This is what's going to make the van warm when it's cold outside. To turn it on, you just hit this button right there. That symbol means the heat is on. To turn it back off, you just hit that again. And once you see the hourglass, it's going to go into cool down mode. Just to the left, there's a GFCI protected outlet. Just like your home outlets, to test or reset, there's two buttons in the middle. You have your paper towel holder, sharps container, and of course your sink to do your hand washing. With an electric faucet that you turn on with this switch. Now going down the cabinet a little bit more, you have a Wii Boost. This is part of the cell phone booster that's installed on the rooftop. TV mount, an outlet for your TV, an additional outlet for any kind of computer or anything else you might want to connect, and of course another outlet for USB and USB-C. On this Wii Boost, we put some additional length of wire inside of the cabinet that you can pull out and set somewhere else just in case you need to get a little bit closer to the device that you're trying to boost the signal on. To store the cord, you just push it back in the cabinet. These overhead cabinets from C-Tech are real easy to operate. All you're going to do is pull out on this handle, lift the door. It does have gas struts, keeps the door open for you. To close it, just push it shut and they'll latch themselves. So in this cabinet, we have an isotherm 2.7 cubic foot refrigerator. If you're storing the van, you want to turn this to 0. That way the refrigerator is turned off completely and not pulling any draw from the battery. To turn it back on, you're just going to turn it up to your favorite setting to keep the temperature that you want. Down below the sink, you'll notice an air return for your heater. Make sure you don't cover that. Just below that, if you open this cabinet, you have your gray water and your fresh water tanks that are strapped in for safety and for noise. To remove these tanks, there's a buckle, a little bit of wiring, and a little bit of plumbing that we can show you how to use. You'll just take this off to fill your fresh water. And when you're ready to dump your gray water, like in another sink or maybe a toilet, you just take the lid off and dump it out. And under the counter, you'll find some additional storage. Take note, the WeBoost brain is right under here. If the green light is on, everything is good. If the red light is on, please refer to your manual for any kind of service or troubleshooting tips. You'll also notice some additional storage right to the left of the van. Nice big cabinets for some larger items if you need it. And of course in the bottom, there's a porta potty for maybe a little emergency here or there. One little trick we wanted to show you. In order to get this toilet out, you're gonna have a tendency to want to pull right here. That'll find you getting stuck. In order to release the toilet, just pull on both sides. That's the quick release to get the toilet out. Before dropping the exam table, you're gonna go ahead and take these guys out. Install them into the top. On the back side of the bed, there's just a snap to help hold it up. There's two positions. This one is if you have the headrest in. This one is if the headrest is not installed. And should a patient need some privacy, there's also a curtain. Whenever it's time to store the van, there's two main cutoff switches inside of here. This one will cut off all power from your batteries to all the equipment. This one will shut off power to your multi-plus inverter. To operate the latches on these boxes, you're simply going to pull out, twist, and open the doors. There's a little bit of a trick to this generator. To get it started, Turn this knob all the way to the right, which is choke. Give it 3 pulls. And then back to the green logo, which is propane, and give it a few more pulls. This cute little box right here is your 30 amp shore connection. We're going to provide you with a pigtail that'll plug into a normal extension cord and then plug into your generator or a typical outlet. And when you climb this ladder, you're going to find 2 90-watt solar panels, your air conditioner, a rooftop storage, and if you look over to the right, your WeBoost controller. On the keychain, you'll find a lock for your storage container. That'll get you access to the tent for the awning. To operate the air conditioner in any of your electrical outlets, there is an inverter inside of the electrical cabinet. You turn that on with this switch down here. Once that is on, it'll produce power. You have enough battery capacity to run this van for about 4 to 5 hours, depending on the usage. To turn on the AC, this knob will control your fan. This knob will control your temperature. Right above the sliding door is your awning hook, which is how you're going to open the awning and close it. Once you have the awning all the way out, you'll notice that the fabric is a little bit loose. Just go ahead and tighten it a hair back. That way moisture doesn't build up in the middle of the awning and make the awning a little too heavy. A couple things to note. The legs on these, your tendency is going to want to be to pull them out this way. To remove the leg, you're actually going to want to just slide it and then twist it down. You loosen this wing nut to lift the leg up. Tighten it once you have it at the height you want. One quick note, make sure the leg latches in place and your foot folds in flat. That way when you close the awning, it's not going to cause the awning cover to bulge out. And there she is. We're going to show you how to set up the tent in a different video.